He took my phone. I'm trying to figure out where did the cues come from just in space. Forget it now.
Well, you know what? First of all, whenever I see you, you brighten my day. But you guys have been on one every time I come in here.
Over the few times.
You know what? I'm back.
I'm glad we're laughing because, it just should be a law that we shouldn't lose our icons during Black History Month.
Well, what better way to go then?
It's a better way not to go.
I mean, not what better way, but what better month? If I live my life fighting to create history and advance the culture for Black people, I want to go in Black History Month too.
Okay, well, I'm gonna put that prayer up there for you.
Now, for 100
God,
years
do
now.
not do that to me. Listen, the Jackson family made a statement today, and I'm sure that everybody has heard by now that the good Reverend Dr. Jesse Jackson has passed away. It is with profound sadness that we announce that our civil rights icon, who was the founder of Breadbasket, Operation Push, has passed away. He died peacefully on this morning, surrounded by his family, with his unwavering commitment to justice, equality, and human rights, helped shape the globe for freedom and equality. He did it with dignity, tireless change agent. He elevated his voices of the voiceless, and from his 2 presidential campaign races, number 1 in the 80s, mobilizing millions of people to register to vote when people weren't thinking about necessarily voting. And the Reverend Jackson is survived by his wife, Jacqueline, their children, Santita, Jesse, Jonathan, Yusef, Jacqueline, their daughter, Ashley Jackson, and their grandchildren. He was preceded in death by his mother, Helen Burns Jackson, and his father, Noah Lewis Jackson, his stepfather, Charles Henry Jackson. It is with deep sadness that we say goodbye to a legend and icon. And you know what? When we talk about leaders, we think about first Martin Luther King, of course, but he got his mentor. I was going to say he got his stripes through mentoring with Martin Luther King. And of course, my uncle Al Raby was also one of those mentors. So public observances will be held in Chicago. Final arrangements for the Reverend Jackson celebration of life services, including all public events, will be released by the Rainbow Push Coalition at a later date. And as always, the Brunch Bunch will keep you updated.
Well, we are definitely praying. We have lost an icon.
Yes, we have. You know what? When I hear about the Reverend Jesse Jackson, I think about not just the icon that we see on TV, but the man that lived around the corner from me growing up in Jackson Park Highlands, the man who walked with his family through Jackson Park Highlands, and the man who is a father, a mentor, and of course, a brother, and all the things that you could think of. Now, he is a man, though.
He was a man.
So, of course, he succumbed to his medical issues, which they at first diagnosed incorrectly. At first they said it was Parkinson's disease, right? But it ended up being a neurological disease. But you know what? He fought the good fight, and he still continued to show up. A lot of times people get so busy thinking about dying that they forget to be thinking about living. He did not. He continued his fight. He continued his push. And even when people thought they couldn't understand him, the people that were supposed to hear him heard him, and they knew how to follow his instructions. And to the end, he was a fighter.
Well, we're going to keep praying for the Jackson family, the city, the nation, and the world, because he was a world leader.
He definitely was. I may not be poor. I may not be rich. Those kind of chants, you never forget them.
I am somebody.
I am somebody.
And thanks to him, this world leader, we met the Duchess from South Africa.
Absolutely.
Remember? Yeah.
And then phrases like keep hope alive. Those are all chants that you can say, but they resonate into your psyche to actually manifest itself into existence. Yeah. So we have a lot to thank him for. And we got some big shoes to fill. Who is going to fill those shoes? I don't know. Is it going to be you, Action Jackson?
I'm no Action Jackson.
In action. In action Jackson. You know what, y'all? Don't go nowhere. We got a great show for you today. Of course, you know it's Community Chatter. And on the Brunch Bunch, we got none other than Winona bringing the best guest in the city. As you know, she has consistently brought Operation Push. And today, I'm sure she's going to bring a message of hope. Because we are doing what? Keeping hope alive. Y'all, it's Inspiration 1390 right here on the Brunch Bunch.
Be fabulous.
They had Danny Davis and LaShawn on the I saw the best part.
I put Black History Fact in the middle of the commercials.
Okay, sounds good. What's up, Reggie? Hey, Harold. WARN. What's up, DJ B-Lo? Hey, guys, listen, I'm wishing you all a belated what is this? Valentine's Day. Thank you. Thank you. I was going to say thank you.
I know I've been gone, but I missed that much.
Yeah, you've been in a coma.
Right.
I'm taking that out of the atmosphere. Hey, listen, that was the last time that I can remember that I was really, really excited about doing some things.
The residents of Chicago's Austin community and surrounding areas. That's why we created Leaders Network.
Okay, so guys, this is your exclusive topic, all right? If you could date any celebrity in the world, who would it be? I want to know. I want to see your answers in the chat. Thank you for the compliment, Reggie. I appreciate it. R. Barry, thank you so much for joining. If you could date any celebrity, who would it be? I can't hear y'all.
Lorenz Tate.
Lorenz Tate, and he's local.
He's local.
Yes, you could date him.
Pull up, Zoe, pull up.
That's right. That's right. I'm gonna say Chris Brown. Who? Tiana Taylor.
Oh, wow.
Tiana Taylor, yeah.
Once you go black, you never go back.
1 minute to
Happy Black History Month.
He said he'd get turned out. Yeah, she looked like she might turn you out.
Yeah.
Who has never stopped being a power.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Whoa.
I always noticed the bond between my dad and Congressman Eddie. To me, they always been two peas in a pod.
Make it good. They looking too good.
Yeah, she just really did.
Work
to the
on
same
them.
mission.
Looks good still.
So today,
She looks.
I'm not surprised that the congressman is here and endorsing him for Congress.
Hello, she's still fine. Thank you.
And now,
And Kyla Pratt, she's actually
he
been
is
on the show.
ready to take the
20
even
seconds to Black History.
He knows it's a lot of hard work.
Are you gonna pay attention to what you're doing? Because you got a lot of gaps
Your work,
like going on
your
here. I'm
compassion,
gonna need
and
you
your
to, like,
courage.
lock in.
Oh,
That
what
has
was I
all led to the
Something
moment.
that does not
We
have
all
anything to do with
believe
Brunch
in
Bunch.
you.
I'm Sean K. Ford, and I approve this
Technology
message
will fail you when
by
he
the
should.
Sean K. Ford
What's
for
up,
Congress.
Jackie Edu? The real history. Who's Black history? Who's Black history?
You know, the real history.
Without Black history, where would we be?
On February 17, 1942, Huey P. Newton, co-founder of the Black Panther Party for Self-Defense, was born in Monroe, Louisiana, known for promoting Black power and community survival programs. He was a key figure in the civil rights movement. Newton helped launch initiatives like free breakfast programs and health clinics, showing how grassroots organizing can meet community needs while challenging systemic injustice. That is our Black History fact of the day.
Huey Newton. Now, he was also an icon because the Black Panthers really did a lot to
Yes, they
change
did.
Black lives. We need some new Black Panthers.
We need some new Black Panthers. We need some new Jesse Jacksons. We need some new Dr. Kings. We need some new Rosa Parks.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out what can we name you. How can we crown you, brother?
Action Jackson.
Okay, but you said you in action. So
let
us know the new date
we gotta
when you get
speak it
back
back
into
into
action.
action.
There you go. I know it's a lot going on. I know you got a lot going on in your personal life and your family life. And you know what? Whenever there is a loss or could be a loss, it takes so much out of you. But you got to keep your faith because your faith has to override
That's right.
your circumstances in your now. As we know, God is still on the throne. He is the same God yesterday that he is going to be today and forever. So he said, I will not leave you or forsake you. And y'all, that message is not just for Action Jackson. It's also for you, Mariah, because as many of you who follow me on Facebook know, we had a big loss, and I didn't know this would affect me like this, right? So Dior was put to sleep. That's our 16-year-old. He'll be 16 in March the 10th. Our pet.
Fur baby.
Yeah, I did not know that. Like this, I had a miscarriage, and this affected me much more than it did my miscarriage. Like literally, you know, I share everything with y'all.
I know, but Adam baby looked like his face was like what?
Yeah,
but I mean,
I didn't know that child, right? But I knew Dior
for 16
years. So it's really, really a loss. So happy heavenly journey, Dior. We absolutely love you, y'all. It's Inspiration 1390, the Brunch Bunch.
In a crash and need some
What's
cash?
going
Don't
on?
start panicking. Just call Flanagan Injury Law Group 773-789-8-LAW or visit our website, windycityinjury.com.
Oh,
A
baby.
true
Oh,
Flanagan has settled millions of
I know. Now you break it down on me.
cases, slip and falls,
Woo!
medical
Be the short
police
one.
misconduct,
What's
and
up, bro, Paul? How
Adam,
you
your
doing?
face, your face is weird.
Good to have you.
Yeah.
Tell
Okay.
us, Justin, something.
How long we got before this?
wrongful death
So,
medical malpractice.
Two,
Flanagan Injury Law Group.
minute and a half.
Are here to
Oh,
help.
I'll be right
Our
back.
team is experienced
Ready to
and
roll,
dedicated
ready
to
to roll.
giving you truth, service, and
All right,
justice.
guys. What's up, Tony Bear? Listen, here's your exclusive today. If you could date any celebrity, who would it be? Put your answers in the chat. Don't just sit there and listen to me and don't do what I asked you to do. Put your answers in the chat. Don't be embarrassed. I'm quite sure if they're a celebrity, there's somebody that everybody wants to be with. I actually said Chris Brown. Oh, this is somebody else.
Thousands of listeners tuning in every weekday from
this
12 to 1
should
p.m.
go.
on Inspiration. 1390. Your business can
That's
gain
right,
exposure,
Reggie D.
connect
Or
with our
Fair.
community, and even be featured as a special guest on the show. Don't wait. Call us today at 773.
We're doing some technical changes around here, y'all.
That's
Thank you.
773
All right,
345
perfect.
744.
Let's see. Let me get my
Brunch
hand
Bunch,
together.
where business, culture, and community come together.
I'm State Representative LaShawn K. Ford, and I'm Lester Barkley, Honorary Consul of Jamaica. Jamaica needs your help. Hurricane Melissa has devastated our island. Donate online at myjack.org. That's myjack, MIJAC.org, or drop supplies at Chatham Community Center or Agape
Yesterday I ate
Kingdom
some
Generation Church in Skokie. One
Fritos,
Jamaica,
right, last
one
night.
Midwest.
Well, it came out everywhere.
We're in the raw with Tamara Fair on the Brunch Bunch.
So you know what? Today is so befitting because when we talk about Black history, we think about people of yesteryear, right? People who have gone on, made their imprint on society, and they've gone on to glory. But Black history is happening right now. Guess what, guys? You are figures of Black history. But our guest today is a very special guest, and particularly to me, because he is a figure in my Black history. One of my longtime students at Pill Hill. We welcome today on the Brunch Bunch, Mr. Paul Flowers Jr. He's a Chicago-based benefits strategist, master trainer, and author of Hidden Wealth, known as the People's Coach. Paul has 20 plus years. Oh my God, 20 plus years. That makes me feel excited. Yes, in insurance and financial services, helping thousands of families and training over 1,400 agents. Today, he's sharing practical strategies to plug money leaks, use benefits wisely, and build real wealth starting this week. And let me tell you something, we need that right now. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. Yourself, Brother Jackson over here. It's funny how things come full circle.
Yes.
Right, full circle. Connected with you from my youth. We're just going to call that 20 years ago.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, you didn't have to say it.
2 years ago.
You know what? I've always admired, even as a child, you were always ahead of your class. You always had that vision. And then to go into finances, which is something that we don't talk about in school, not on any level, not preschool, not grammar school, not high school, and not college. These are conversations that are just starting to happen. And you've been having them for 20 years.
Right.
Yeah, so that is awesome. So Hidden Wealth, that's your newest book.
Yes.
Which means there was an oldest book.
Yes. So actually, I'd started with the employee benefit side, and that's the side that I had gotten a lot of experience in. I'd cut my teeth and, quite frankly, found out some of the not so nice things that happen on a regular and consistent basis when it comes to how people's benefits are provided to them from a broker standpoint, how the care is actually communicated to them from the carrier standpoint, and ultimately how the concern is there. And not that the employers are in the wrong, but there just isn't a lot of care and concern around how well and how much of a benefit a lot of employees are actually getting.
So I see your book is wonderfully bound. It's beautifully illustrated. I love that, but I know that the content of it is something, it's like meat on the table, on your plate. You got to know how to manage your wealth, because if you garner your wealth and you lose your wealth from mismanagement, then what was the point in garnering it, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so when you say hidden wealth, what does that really mean for everyday people?
All right. So I shared that I trained well over 1,000 folks in the health and life insurance space. Now, this is specifically to get their life and health insurance licenses. So I want to paint a picture for you. You would think right? Back when you were in the teaching days or going to school, your teacher had the book with all the answers in it.
It's funny
right?
because I'm still in my teaching days.
Right?
Last week.
So teacher has the book with all the answers in it, and that's where you go for all the knowledge, right?
Yes.
That's where you get everything. Well, I was instructing people on how to get their actual life and health insurance license, but there was something missing in that instruction. Now, I realized that it was sticking out like a sore thumb because there was only one paragraph on something in particular called a IUL, right, or an Index Universal Life. And these aren't, again, the godsend or kind of aren't, they might be, right? But what I realized is that as an instructor, they only provided one paragraph of instruction to share with people how to access and utilize an IUL. And I said, wait a second.
It sounds like a disease. Just...
we'll call it a wealth disease, right?
Okay.
I would absolutely want to get sickened with that.
Yeah.
So IRS code 7702 lets you utilize IULs and put nice amounts of money in, right? And we'll call whatever the smallest number you can think of and the biggest number that you can think of into these policies without having taxable events in most instances, as long as they're properly structured. And these things aren't things that I learned from being an instructor and sharing with people how to get their life and health insurance licenses. It was because I had certain associations and affiliations that, and I'll just be real transparent about it, they didn't look like me. And so it was because I was put in rooms, again, starting off with Pill Hill and then accelerating in life. My mother always said, speak the King's English. Well, that language also helped me to enter rooms that ordinarily, and usually when I would go into, I was the only one that looked like me.
Yeah.
And by being in those rooms and in those places and spaces, I was able to learn that there are a lot more things that life insurance could actually do while you were living, not just what most people look at it as that when you're gone, somebody's going to get a check.
A death benefit.
And it is so much more than that.
Well, that's how banks make their billions. That's how they actually capitalize on what you deposit into the bank. Then banks actually put it into life insurance, period. And then it compounds like almost minute by the minute.
Absolutely. Minute by minute, day by day.
There you go. So the IUD, I mean the UTI, I mean the IUL.
Oh, Lord Jesus. Get us some water.
Right.
So this is something that a lot of people don't know about. How do you get there? You buy this, you go ask for this for your broker, or is people like you they ask for because this is so kind of like proprietary?
There are 716, I believe, active life insurance companies in the United States as of today. Right? Not all of them use IULs as a way to gain customers. Not many of the financial professionals that partner with these 700 plus life insurance companies even utilize or know what an IUL is themselves. Again, it's not everyone that knows about them, but they are becoming more mainstream now with companies like FFL and PHP, right? Just to throw some acronyms out there. Those are companies in the direct sales space. Nothing against them. And as a person that's been in the industry over a couple of decades now at this point, I would rather work with someone that has their own firm that's not motivated by like recruiting and things like that. So when it comes to getting information, a non-biased professional is one that you'd want to seek. One that they don't necessarily have to be a best-selling author, right? Shameless plug. And it helps when they've got a little bit of time and experience in the industry such that they can answer questions about things that most people wouldn't normally be aware of. Again, IUL is just the tip of the iceberg. I also go into annuities as well as something called premium financing. But again, we're not going to go down that particular rabbit hole today. But those are areas.
It's in your book.
But it's in the book. Absolutely. Again, shameless plug. I'm actually, so I have to age all of us now.
Cut the mic.
I said for my 41st birthday, right? Because I had been doing all the work with companies and corporations, that for my 41st birthday, my goal was to give away 4,100 copies of this book and make it for the people. So not all of them are going to be physical, but that's why I do have the link where they can get the digital version of it at no cost. And once I see that there are 4,100 that have been put into the hands of the people, we're going to cut it, right? We do want to keep the lights on at some point.
Exactly.
I put a few dollars back to make a few.
But how amazing is that you can give away 4,100 books that actually put people on the pathway to wealth?
Absolutely. I'm thankful every day.
Somebody's listening is probably saying, well, how can I get one of them 4,100 books? Are we starting that giveaway today?
Oh, absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. We're a couple weeks in, and we're going to keep it going. So the website is hiddenwealthbook.com/free-book. Of course, my IT guy couldn't figure out how to give the book away without putting the dash in there. So please, hiddenwealthbook.com/free-book.
I love it. Listen, believers, you want to grab a copy of that book. So what's one simple way listeners can spot and plug a money leak this week?
If you have any interest that you're paying right now, there's a leak. So if you have a mortgage where you're paying interest, there's a leak. If you have credit cards where you're paying high interest rates, there's a leak. If you currently have a car loan, there's a leak. And the thing about interest is it's going to be there. It's not going to magically disappear overnight and you can't get rid of it. And there are ways that instead of having a 30-year mortgage, when you properly structure how you pay your debts off, you can actually bring that down to more like an 8 to 10. And that's including all of your normal living, right? You're not out here eating ramen noodles and drinking tea, right, just to make it. It's oftentimes with very little change to your current situation. So those are just strategies that are available with good partnerships.
So you're saying, I just got to get this right. So you're saying if you have a 30-year mortgage, you're paying interest, you can call you, Paul Expert Flowers, and you can show people how to consolidate that and pay 8 years, it's paid off.
8 years, that's your mortgage, your car, your credit cards, all debts typically can be paid off within 8 to 10 years, even if you're just starting off that mortgage.
And is there a big front load of infusion of money?
Nope. Again,
well, how do people get in touch with you?
A smoke signal, bad signal, right? How do you like to plant a seed in the garden and watch me grow?
I like that one.
My best number is directly to me. It's 844-513-LIFE, 844-513-5433. And that oftentimes, if I'm not in the office, it gets circulated right to the bat phone. So you can literally call that number and it's like having a back signal because I'll stop what I'm doing if I see it and pick up.
So for those that are listening, who's the ideal person that should be calling you right now?
Beautiful. Do you have a pulse?
No.
Yeah, I say that jokingly, but realistically, it doesn't matter where you are. Right? We're working with clients right now that are just getting $2,000 back in taxes. I have a partnership with Liberty Tax, a commercial. You'll see somebody called me about the commercial they saw in my partnership with Liberty. They're like, "Did I see you on a commercial with Liberty?" I was like, "You sure did."
Oh,
right?
Wow.
So it doesn't matter where you are. We have people that come into those offices that have $1,000 that they're getting back in their returns, might have made $26,000 for the year, and they want to have something in place for their child. So we do something like a single premium term life policy that can be converted at the child's 26th birthday or sooner so that they can have some type of coverage in place. And we're talking a $10,000 term policy for $150 one time, right? That's a month's cell phone bill for some people, right? Sad but true. And
a $10,000 term policy for $150 one time?
One time. Right. Now, these are for juveniles. Don't go trying to get this for your grandpa and grandpa.
When you say juvenile, what's the cutoff age?
Cutoff age is 18 to enroll.
Oh, wow. So you can get that for your kids.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like that.
I love that. Paul, listen, guys, this sounds amazing. I didn't even know anything about an IUL. Did you?
Yes, I did.
You did. He lying. But anyway, definitely want to call 844-513-LIFE. That's 844-513-5433. And if you are not fortunate enough to get one of these free books, how do people buy the book?
Admittedly, I have sold my soul to Bezos. I'm on Amazon.
Okay.
I'm on Amazon, and people talk about it
like it's so bad. But look, realistically, the main thing is to get out to people.
So I will have an author-specific site that I'll build. Because this is my 4th book now. I've got another one coming out in May. That's more about the skill set that it takes in order to grow yourself as a person, as a being, so that you can just flourish in life.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And then we're going to turn that into children's series. So as I get more books under my belt, then I'll have to step away from Amazon. But for right now, Jeff Bezos is my friend.
Okay, well, we want to make sure that friendship and that relationship works for you. That's Hidden Wealth, guys. If you want to unhide your wealth, you want to go on Amazon and get the book, or you can call into the Brunch Bunch, or
you can call straight to Paul. 844-513-LIFE. That's 844-513-5433. Let them know you heard them on the Brunch Bunch and that you're interested in learning more about how to spot the leaks in your finances. And trust me, Paul is not only here, because we always say we don't bring people that we don't know and trust.
Mm-hmm.
Paul works with my family and I and has set us up with some great tools to be financially sound in the future. And so I wanted to make sure we brought them to the show so that you all can get the same resources. And you know what, Paul, we're going to invite you back again. We hope that you do it again and keep helping people like you've been helping them. It's Kirk Franklin. Do it again right here on the Brunch Bunch.
This is awesome. Can I have that?
You seem actually, yes. We all
sign it? Yeah, sign it. We are.
Beautiful.
I would like
I apologize to my other two colleagues in the office. I knew you two in Justice, so I'm like, okay, these are who we're gonna have it for.
Winner chicken dinner, huh?
Yes. I'm very interested in this
IUL. Index Universal Life.
I know what it stands for because I wrote it down, but I've never heard of it.
You know who talk about it all day, every day now?
Who?
AC Green pumped IUL.
Does he? Mm-hmm.
He made about $1 million off of IUL.
I'm fixing to give you my phone number because I want one of those. I want to consolidate everything.
Okay. I talked to him a little over a month ago because when I heard the commercial that he had about building your own bank, he missed a piece of language that I pointed out to him. So I called his team, and his team got him to me within like 20 minutes. We were on the phone for about a half hour. Beautiful.
Yeah, somebody else told me the way he's saying it is not legally right.
I called him on it professionally.
That's good that you guys are your brothers keeping.
Absolutely.
Okay,
he said he wants to have me on, so I'll
we're going to take a picture with Paul. Yeah, this is awesome.
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
Wow, wait, if you already won.
I believe it. My God.
Open your eyes, lift your head high, know that it's yes, it's on
Hey, yes, sir. Yeah. Come on.
Be fabulous. Be social. Be outspoken. Be family. Be different. Be Queez.
Queez, a new luxury brand from Tamara Fair. Queez comes in 2 distinct fragrances, the sensual Pure Royale and the alluring Forbidden Kiss. Order Queez today.
Go to bequeeze.com and get your favorite fragrance today. That's BEQUEESE.com. Bequeeze.com.
I saw that someone said that they
ready to
wanted
take your business to
date
the next level?
Shantae Moore.
The best way to reach new customers is by getting your message heard.
That would be a
There's no
good
better
one.
place than right here on the Brunch Bunch.
Hey, Crystal. Hey,
Thousands of
Whitney.
listeners tuning in every weekday from 12 to 1 p.m. on Inspiration. $13.90.
Kim,
Your business
what's
can
up?
gain exposure, connect with our community, and even be featured as a special
What's
guest
up,
on the show.
Magic? Hey,
Don't
Kobe.
wait.
How are
Call
you?
us today at
See you guys tonight at the weekly meeting. Excited about that.
345-744. Brunch Bunch, where business, culture, and community come together.
What's up, Tina Hammond?
I'm LaShawn K. Ford. For
Justin
seniors and
Bieber.
families, healthcare is a matter of survival. In Congress, I will
That's a
fight
good
to
one, too.
protect the Social Security because you earned it. Defend Medicare. You rely on it and strengthen Medicaid so no family is forced to choose between medicine and rent. I will stand up to the Trump administration to keep these promises. I am LaShawn K. Ford. I'm asking for your vote on March 17th. Thank you. Paid for by LaShawn K. Ford for Congress.
In a crash and need some cash? Don't start panicking.
Well,
Just
welcome
call
everybody.
Friends
Welcome
and
back, I should say.
773-789-8-LAW.
You got a
Visit
big
our
thing
website,
coming up.
WindyCityInjury.com.
Some of my friends are in there.
Flanagan has settled millions of dollars in cases for car crashes, truck cases, slip and falls, medical malpractice, police misconduct.
Allison is
No
a
one wants to be
recipient this
injured,
year.
but if you are, make the best of it. Call Chicago's #1
You
accident
heard me,
attorney,
Allison is a
concentrating in
recipient this
serious
year.
injuries,
We got
wrongful death,
reverb.
and medical malpractice.
I think it's
Flanagan
from
Injury Law Group. We are here to help. Our team is experienced and dedicated to giving you truth.
No,
Self
Alice
and
is
justice.
Caldwell Perkins. Daycare. Oh, well, she said you all online
at WindyCityInjury.com. Flanagan Injury Law Group.
She got a
For
whole
you.
She's like,
Uh-oh.
got so many different things.
Good energy fills me.
Did I lie?
I feel the
Made up.
I need you to come on, get with it. Where's my
Get
book?
down, get down.
It's from above.
My energy level is coming up.
Well, I need it up.
I feel the good.
I need it up.
Strongly, if you feel me, everybody throw your hands up and say,
Twila, you got some, you got a trip coming up?
I have our Women's History Month luncheon is March 29th.
But it's in the States.
That March, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
You do that. You do that venue often, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
And it's honoring nonprofit leaders.
Y'all, do y'all hear that? Turn it all the way down. Thank you, DJ D-Lo. I appreciate you. If you could date any celebrity, who would you date? I already said Chris Brown. Now, who would you date? Thank you. Thank you, Paul. You okay, my daughter?
no, I'm not playing. This is my friend. No, I'm not perfect. I wanna get it right. So I encourage my own self. Turn left, focus on my own shelf. Reach for the top.
To the Queen, Jackie Jackson, to Santita, the oldest, and just the whole Jackson family, especially Jonathan. We were celebrating our 60th. Jesse Jr. and Jonathan are 60 together right now, but Jackie's birthday's coming and Jesse Jr. But Jackie, the whole entire Jackson family, we lost a legend.
Yeah.
And but I lost a friend, and I just love Reverend Jesse Jackson, and it's appropriate to have guests today. Um, Diana Lewis is not just the Chicago Defender, but she's Real Times Media. How many years are you celebrating, Diana?
18.
Wow. 18 years.
120 for Chicago Defender.
For the Chicago Defender, 120 years, and more than 50 of those years, Reverend Jackson has been the news. And all of the other real-time media news, he's been global news, he's been international news, but the Black press was a voice that was trusted. And Reverend Jackson talked about trust. He gave me the highest honor and compliment years ago. Um, he said that whoever Winona brings to us, we trust her. We may not trust them, but she won't bring anybody to me that I don't trust. There was someone that was about to do a big protest. They had called Reverend Jackson, and I got to Reverend. I said, let me tell you the other side of the story. He called it off. He said, "You then bring them to the office. We'll talk to both sides." He wasn't gonna just go. He was just a wonderful man. So Diana is here. Women of Excellence is coming up, but Men of Excellence is coming up. And you made Reverend Jackson a Lifetime Achievement Award.
2024 Lifetime Achievement.
So I want you to talk about him. And then Twyla Jenkins is, those of us that love Reverend, we work for Reverend. He puts you to work. And a person on a mission, you have to respect their mission. And he always had a vision, and he may change the whole program on you. But Twyla Jenkins, you've been events,
25 years.
25 years for your event business. So I was on the corporate side when I was at Dominic Safeway, and even when I went on to other places. But we could always count on there's going to be some chaos. There's going to be everybody in the world rushing in. But Twyla, when she was a point person on the event, us in the corporate community, we knew that Twyla was going to handle it. But we also knew that Twyla loved Reverend Jackson.
Absolutely.
And loved the Jackson family. Absolutely. But Diana, why don't you we're in Black History Month, but it just so happens to be February. But with 365 days of the year, we have the most talented, competent people who have the advantage of being African American, but they also just have the advantage of being the best. When we talk about community chatter, I always say my father, Bobby Wright, he actually called up. My dad called me. He was one of the first ones. He doesn't call. I have to call him, but he called me and said, "How you doing? I know. How you doing?" So my dad called, but he loves, Hidden Figures. If you don't know, you shine the light on them. But we know that we've got the best. So Diana, your reflection, on the history.
Sure. So Reverend Jackson first appeared on the Chicago Defender pages in the mid 60s. And at that time, he was a young leader of Operation Breadbasket. Fast forward to mid 70s or early 70s, I was at Operation Breadbasket while Gwendolyn Brooks was there reciting poetry. And then my photo was taken by a Chicago Defender photographer, and I was featured in the Chicago Defender. So that starts my story of from the pages to the publisher. 2019, going even further, 2019, I had the great pleasure of partnering with Win-Win Communications. And Win-Win was responsible for the public relations of the Chicago Defender transitioning from print to digital. And Reverend Jackson was front and center right there.
He believed in technology. He believed in forward thinking. He believed in students because he was there with Columbia College students.
Yes, he was. And
Curtis Lawrence.
Right there, making sure and helping, standing right beside me, helping lead the transition because it was, know that it was tough. After all these years of print publication and a newspaper, and people used to picking up newspaper, it was not going over nicely. And so with Winona and Win-Win Communications and Reverend Jackson, we made it through.
And Curtis Lawrence was at Columbia College. He was just voted the Journalist of the Year recently by the Chicago Journalism Association, and he brought his students there. Reverend was, he's had Silicon Valley. He's been touched every angle, all the spokes. We would be there. Twyla, talk about Reverend, because he had the food spoke, he had all the spokes, the automotive spoke, but you had coordinated events.
Yeah, one of my best memories of Reverend is when.
But introduce yourself, because I did say
yes.
Diana Lewis, but Twyla Jenkins.
Yeah, so
the name of your business.
Absolutely. So I'm the president and CEO of Strategic Event Solutions, and I've had my company for 25 years next month, which is no small feat in Chicago to be an entrepreneur as a corporate meeting planner. And I started off, I realized this morning as tears streamed down my face of how grateful I am that in my prime years of starting my company, I have been working for Rainbow Push and with Reverend Jackson since 2002. Wow. And so I started my company in 2001. And so soon after, and I remember having a whole staff doing registration, and we were bringing computers, and we were bringing and all the reports. But there was one, I started off doing registration for the conference, and then we were at a corporate office downtown, and I walked in, and Reverend beckoned me up front and told me to sit down next to him. And he announced me to start being the meeting planner for the conferences moving forward. He didn't ask. He didn't say, are you up to this? He didn't pull me to the side before the meeting. And I just sat there and was like, trying to keep my composure, like, wow, because I had only done registration. And now he was entrusting me to the planning for the entire.
Entrusting and instructing.
Yes, all at the same time, like that ball and toe kind of thing.
Yes, exactly.
And so, that just meant so much to me. And from that time on, my business just grew, and I was able to have more responsibility. And Reverend was a mentor. He was a father figure. He was, he knew how passionate I was about making sure that his events ran on time and ran with excellence. And now he might get up and take the run of show off to the left field, but nonetheless, we had a plan. And so I just appreciated Reverend giving me that opportunity at such a young age. I was only in my 30s, just starting a company, right? And so I just appreciate him entrusting me with such a huge responsibility, and it shaped and molded me to who I am and what I do today.
And Reverend is a global figure.
Yes.
We could not begin to scratch the surface in these few minutes, but we know it's the beginning of a homecoming celebration. Absolutely. And I think of the fact that so many people have passed on. I'm saying I'm grateful, if the Lord says the same, that I'll be 60 on June 4th. Don't feel it, don't believe it, have had my health challenges. It wasn't guaranteed. Tomorrow's not promised. But with Reverend Jackson, I look back at over 30 years. I started on the corporate sponsorship side. And actually, I started working in the community. And when I think of all the lives that have passed through the Reverend Willie Taplin Barrow, yes. And she, when I worked as public affairs director for Chicago Housing Authority, and we had to relocate residents when all of the, there was demolition of public housing, and all of the, when we had to find places to move residents and neighborhoods weren't welcoming, Push said, we're going to have a job fair. We're going to have a house fair right here. And so we just, we had Reverend Barrow. We had so many people that have worked with him, John Mitchell. We have so many people, but you've had Reverend Jeanette Wilson, so many leaders. I love C.K. Hoffler. When you know that C.K. has been Reverend Jackson's attorney for over 40 years, when you have folks fighting, he's had so many wonderful careers that he's impacted. When you see the John Rogers sitting there, when you just see all of the different businesses that give him credit. But I saw Reverend Jackson behind closed doors. So many people tried to talk about him and say he was exploiting, and so many people tried to say he's out for the cameras. But I saw him behind closed doors. I saw his heart. That man was the biggest uh, just father figure heart. When the E2 and all those kids lost their parents, he had a fit. He wanted those kids to have toys, have food. We arranged no cameras. We had brought them all to the Dominick's that was at Roosevelt and Canal at the time. He wanted them to have bags of groceries, but he wanted them to have toys and clothes. We gave them gifts. There had been some fights and some killings at Stateway Gardens when I was at CHA. He just wanted bags of groceries delivered. There were so many units. He wanted bags of groceries. We had a truck of groceries delivered. No cameras.
No cameras.
But then when he heard about how expensive diapers were, and he just made us have this big people were still dropping off diapers, and they were like saying, what are we going to do? But he wanted to give diapers away. So we, for his birthday, I think it was his 80th birthday, everybody was bringing diapers to Push. That's what he wanted. It was his 80th or 81st birthday.
What a life.
And I remember working on his 65th birthday. Tom Todd got up. We were at South Shore, the ice sculptures. He said, Jesse, if you wake up at 65 and something's not hurting you, you're dead.
If you wake up, you're dead.
But we've worked with so many birthdays, but we just can't begin to scratch the surface. I want to say,
no. Be it not for Jesse, it would be no any of the three of you icons.
Absolutely.
And so,
yeah, but let me tell you, when you say our icons, Reverend Jackson is known as, everybody's calling him the icon, the civil rights. Reverend Jackson was one of the best journalists and one of the best PR folks out there. He was a strategist. So the National Association of Black Journalists gave him a Lifetime Achievement Award. I was there on the program getting an award for something else, but I was like trying to do my speech. He said, come here. And he made me help rewrite his speech before he got up. I said, but he's been honored by so many people. But the only way we can honor Reverend Jesse Jackson, if we were in the room, go to the Push website today. Start donating. Yeah. Donate $84. Join, become a member. He'd like you to be branded and wear the Rainbow Push logo. We can't talk about we love him. We can't talk about we miss him. If you were in a room with him in the day, you didn't get out the room without being asked. Let's not have him have to ask. Let's show our love. Let's go and join Push. If your membership dues aren't current, but everybody should be given $84 today. Yeah. Push should be flooded. Their website should break down. We can do something. Keeping hope alive means we have to keep his legacy and support what was important to him.
The Bible says where your heart is, your treasure will be also. Twice it says it. So what Winona just said makes so much sense. If you say you love Reverend Jackson, the work that he did, let's continue to work by donating at rainbowpush.org.
Yeah.
And Winona, is there a succession plan? Because when you talk about Rainbow Push continuing, I'm sure that it will continue. The work does not stop without Jesse.
You know, Reverend Jackson has been honored by so many folks. I know Chicago Theological Seminary has done, a collection for him. But the Rainbow Push family is definitely ready. You've got Jackie Jackson. You've got Jonathan Jackson, Jesse Jackson Jr., but you've got his oldest daughter, Santita Jackson, who's got 30 years of her dad's radio show and TV shows that she's produced. The family is ready. You've got Yusuf Jackson that's done a great job with Bobby Lewis, his childhood friend. They've restructured things, and you've got all of the Jacksons. The baby girls are brilliant. Jesse Trey the third, he accepted the National Journalist Award. Jesse has a wonderful family legacy, but he has a wonderful organization legacy. When you've got those different organizations with great presidents and boards, the legacy will continue. But we've got to, I'm sure they're going to let us know how we can help them. But today, you can just make sure you're a member. You can make sure you go do an $84 donation. Mark this day as a milestone where some funds are raised.
Speaking of legacies and speaking of giving, we are still honoring, and I'm sure that you got this from him, honoring 50 more people. You got to do it quick.
Yes.
What's the date?
Yes, March 20th. Friday, March 20th. Women of Excellence will be honoring 51 honorees, and we have 3 special honorees. We have Lifetime Achievement, Melody Span Cooper.
Yay! Another push out.
Woman of the Year, Toy Salter.
Okay.
Yes, and we have Vanguard Award recipient D. Robinson.
All right.
Good job.
Good Trouble Vodka. Good Trouble Bourbon.
Bourbon. And she's a twin, and she's an author. And Twyla, you have a women's
March
event coming up.
29th, Women's History Month, 1 to 4 o'clock at Maggiano's. IamThatWomanMovement.org.
All of
Tickets are
these
available
events
soon.
will be on our social media, and
Right.
we will make sure we keep you posted. We are out of time, but we are never out of content. We're going to continue praying for the Jackson family. Make sure you go to rainbowpush.org and make a donation. Keep Love 24 alive. Tell someone that you don't know that you love them. Valencia, who I know is listening, I love you, and believers continue to pray hard for. Tamara Fair on the air, I love you.
Action Jackson, I love you.
Believers,
we love you.
And Reverend Jackson and Jackson family, we love you.
We love you all. Up next, we get it done all day, every day, right here on the Brunch Bunch. I like that outro.
Thank you guys. In remembrance of the late great Jesse Jackson. You all know. Well, hey Chuck Burton. Hey Diana. You guys have a wonderful day. Tomorrow, 5 rounds.
Some quick pictures.
The views and opinions expressed in the following program do not reflect the staff or management of Inspiration 1390 or iHeartMedia.
Your success strategist is on duty.
Oh,
Thank you so much. Thank you for listening to the AC Green Show.
Now unto him who is able to do exceeding abundantly above all you can ask or think, according to the power that worketh in us. It's the AC Green Show. Great music.